Damage control. Those of you reading this who are regular clearers will understand it better than those who have not yet developed their practice. That being said, this information is still important no matter where you are on the clearing path or whichever path you happen to find yourself on. As my approach to clearing has changed, mainly because of the years that I've been practicing it, but also more recently the technology that now allows me to see people from all around the world on a regular basis, it has become increasingly obvious that much of what I do when clearing via a Skype or Zoom session is damage control. Most folk only get in touch when they are facing difficulties. This, for most people, is understandable. Life gets a little tough, ask for help. And for some people, I am the go-to person when help is required. The busyness of the life we find ourselves in precludes developing an ability to feel much of what is happening in the body until whatever symptoms manifest become, often painfully, more obvious. Not everyone, of course. We each got a different script when we came into the body, so each of us is unique in what and how we feel. As a general rule, though, the majority of people who I get to meet through the work have to rediscover what is going on in their body. A few are trying to regulate what goes on in order to feel safer in the body, but they are the few, not the many. What this seems to mean for the majority is that symptoms need to develop to a certain point where they become obvious, uncomfortable, before we notice them, and then of course we need to do something to alleviate those symptoms. If we can train ourselves to become more aware of the body, spend less time rushing into the future and more time sitting quietly, there will, sooner or later, be a good chance that we will notice change in the body before it becomes an issue. It really is all a matter of degrees. The longer we wait to notice, the more developed any issue can become. The more energy, subconsciously, we have given to the issue, the more likely it is going to be a problem when we finally do notice it. As my experiences have taught me, a developed ability to notice what is happening in the body sooner rather than later means I get a choice: to energize old patterns or release them. With clearing, we begin work by noticing any physiological changes in the body. We are able, to some degree or other, to recognize that the feelings do not belong to us, and so let them go. Eventually, with enough practice, the body changes the way it deals with information. This leads to a place where, when information does present in the body, our new automatic response is, "This is not mine." Follow this through to a logical conclusion, and the realization arises that nothing is mine. Along the way, though, because of old conditioning and our apparent inability to notice what is going on, or our predisposition to take seriously that which we do notice, we still wait to ask for clearing when symptoms become obvious and uncomfortable. In a recent survey, I asked those who practice regularly and frequently clearing self and others if they still felt the need to ask for help or request damage control as often now that they were practicing more often. For the most part, the answer was no. The discomfort seemed to arise less, and if it did, they were better able to understand what was happening and clear before the need to ask for help arose. From this, it is easy to see that tensions arising in the body were, through conscious awareness, brought back into perspective and were no longer ruling the body in the same old way. Here we can recall Carl Jung's words: One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Through a regular and constant practice of clearing, that which was likely to become a significant issue in our lives falls away, and is therefore not likely to be a problem in our future. Or you could check out the first verse of the poem Ithaca by Constantine Cavafy, well worth a read. Or this from the book Dreaming While Awake by Arnold Mindell, PhD, where he said, "The other possibility is that we move out of time and space and let go of our identity. We become lucid about our sentient experience, and even before it manifests positive or negative figures, we become edgeless. Even before we can talk about attention, we change and let go of our hold on time and go with the flow. Such moments require a lot of awareness, personal courage and flexibility." For many new to this type of path, this sounds too difficult, too challenging, and as Mindell writes, such moments require a lot of awareness, personal courage and flexibility. Seen through the eyes of someone still identifying with the drama of life, then yes, I agree with him. We do require courage and flexibility. However, seen through the eyes of an experienced clearer, it is both obvious and a logical step easily taken, simply because the personality that tells you this is too hard for me to do has temporarily taken a back seat. Many of you who have practiced this understanding without realizing you have done it, and with ongoing practice you will develop abilities you never dreamt were possible. From the complex, hard to understand, to the realization that you are already doing that to some degree or other, and that it is not taking any effort to do so. While you need damage control, you need it until you don't. Travel well through this unfolding which we call life.